You're listening to the Patriot Nation podcast.
All right, welcome into another edition of the Patriot Nation podcast. As always, the guy Pat Lane here with my man Matt St. Jean. And Matt, forget about the Patriots for a second. My high school girls basketball team, first dub of the season, 1-1 on the year, pretty exciting. First win as an assistant to the head coach. This was that from The Office, not assistant head coach, assistant to the head coach. No, it was a great win. Hard fought battle by the girls. So shout out to the girls. Nice work.
Love to see it. You know, if they're looking for a new head coach of the Patriots, we got a winner right here.
Yeah, maybe not. No, I can't even be the head coach of they don't want me as the head coach of the girls basketball team. I can't even do that. Never mind head coach of the Patriots. So, but maybe assistant to the head coach, that could work. You never know.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at that. So, but all right, listen, I'll tell you what, man. Speaking of that, they might be looking for a new head coach of the Patriots. I don't know. And we talked about this a little bit on Sunday. We didn't get into it a ton. I just think that the optics of what's going on in New England are really, really bad. Really bad. And, it's not just the play on the field, because the play on the field you can understand to a certain extent, right? They don't have the players. They intentionally didn't go after big-name players this offseason because it was a rebuild, because they didn't want to spend a ton of money because they had money this year, and frankly, because there really wasn't a ton of guys available in free agency. And so I get that. And now, you talk about the offensive line. Like, the offensive line was terrible, and then they got hurt. So they were bad before they got hurt, and then they all got hurt. So I do understand that to a certain extent. The problem that I have is that it's not just the play on the field. It's everything else involved. It's the Mayo making a fool out of himself at every single press conference and then having to walk back his comments on Monday morning on the radio.
And then making jokes on the radio about the fact that he's always walking back comments.
It's just like, that's the type of stuff where it's like, that can't continue to happen. It just cannot continue to happen. And, it's incredibly frustrating, and frankly, it's embarrassing.
Yeah, no, and it's not like we talked about improvement this year. This is one area that's not improving, and it's an easy area to improve. And there's no reason, there's nothing stopping you from it. It's not like you can talk about we need the right free agents or draft picks or I needed time to regroup. Like, no, you have plenty of time to regroup between press conferences. Just say different things. Yeah. And this isn't just Gerard Mayo with this team, but and I don't think any single thing he said, with the exception of possibly the insinuation about Alex Van Pelt this past week, is overly damning. But it's the pattern. The pattern is what matters.
Correct.
And repeating mistakes and just saying dumb stuff, and there's no reason to bring more attention to this, but it still keeps happening.
When he talks about it all the time. Belichick used to talk about it all the time as well. Error repeaters. Can't have guys that are error repeaters. And now he's out here repeating his errors over and over and over again. And it's like, dude, like, you just can't keep doing it, man. You just can't keep doing it, And again, like, I don't want to necessarily go back to the Lions. It's not fair to compare the Patriots to the Lions. Obviously, they're in a very different situation than the Lions are, clearly, right? Mm-hmm. And everyone trashed Dan Campbell when he first started as a head coach, including me, by the way. Like, the biting kneecaps and all that crap. I was like, dude, what are we talking about here? Like, what's going on? Mm-hmm. But they have one singular focus. They are focused on doing one thing and one thing only. That's all they're focused on. So even when they're playing like garbage and they're making mistakes and their team isn't good and they don't have a ton of talent, like, you're getting 1,000% out of everyone on that coaching staff and on that team. Like, that's what you're getting. They lost 29-0 here. They went like 0 for 7 on fourth down, but they were like, we don't care. We're going for it on fourth down. Whether we get it or not, we don't care. That's who we are. That's how we play all the time, every time, no matter what. And like the Patriots don't have anything even remotely resembling that. Like if you said to me, what is Gerard, like, what are they trying to do in New England? How are they trying to play football? I couldn't tell you. I have no idea. I know that they're trying to establish the run on offense. I do know that. Outside of that, I have no idea how they want to play. I have no clue. I couldn't tell you. And really, it's the players they've brought in, right, and the coaching staff, and the messages that come out. I have not one clue of how they want to play football.
And you make the Dan Campbell comparison. I think it's important to also note the differences in like the gaffes or whatever, the comments that we're talking about.
Yeah.
When Dan Campbell says something notable, crazy, headline inducing, like biting kneecaps, what that's coming from is who he is at his core, what his identity is. He is someone who is very passionate about the game. He wants physical football. He knows what he wants out of his team. So when he says weird things at press conferences, it's that just bubbling up a little bit too close to the surface,
right,
and something weird coming out.
Yeah.
Mayo seems like the exact opposite of that, in that he doesn't know what he wants this team to be. So the weird statements come out of trying to waffle and play both sides of something because there's nothing to fall back on. And I think that is what's most alarming about them. Like if you have a coach that says dumb things but wins, you have a coach that wins. Nobody cares about the dumb stuff. But if the root cause of why you're not winning might be obvious in some of the things that are said, then it's a different story. And, Dan Campbell's gaffes reveal the root cause of why he wins. It's possible Gerard Mayo's gaffes reveal the root cause of why they've been losing. One of the causes.
Yeah, and ultimately what it comes down to is that, I almost feel like Mayo runs the team kind of like he would run a business. Like everyone talks about him being a businessman and all this other crap, and like it feels like very business-like, but like it's almost like a business that's struggling and we can't figure out how to get out of it. Like I almost feel like at this point of the season, Mayo is like, we'll just kick the can in next year. Like it'll be fine. Like we'll just figure it out. It's no big deal. Like we'll get better players and then we'll figure it out next year. And it's like, no, dude, that's not how it works. Like you have to get better now, right? And like, when you look at, I was listening to a part of my take earlier today, and Big Cat was talking about, the Bears and how they're just like, they held on to Eberflus for too long, and they held on to John Fox for too long, and they held on to who the hell's the other coach that they had before Eberflus? I forget. Whatever his name is. The Matt Nagy. So he's like, you held on to all these guys for too long, a year or two too long, and now you're behind the eight ball. Right. And then it's like, now you got to hire a new coach, but then do you hire a new GM? And then if you hire a new GM and you have a new coach, does that GM want to work with that coach? And then and it's like all these things. And it's like, dude, like if it's not working and it doesn't show signs of working, maybe we just cut the cord and we just say, look, like Gerard, love you, mean it. You tried your best. You're just not cut out for this right now. And the vision that you have isn't the same vision that we have. It's not what we want to see our team at, and you kind of move on. And there's one other thing that someone pointed out, which is like all these coaches, the coaches so far that have been fired this year have been fired after a standalone game. Mm-hmm. Right? Or at least, and with Belichick, and you pointed out too, with Belichick last year, that kind of turning point, that breaking point was the standalone game in London or in Germany last year against the Colts. That was kind of the breaking point for Belichick last year. The Patriots play a standalone game Saturday afternoon, 1:00 at home against the Los Angeles Chargers. They're probably going to be coming off a 25-point plus loss to the Bills on this Sunday.
It's funny you say 25 because I was just on the Built in Buffalo podcast and I predicted exactly a 25-point loss.
So, so they're coming off a monster. They're probably going to get their brains beat in by the Bills. And then they're playing a Chargers team and you talk about the differences, right? You talk about and forget about Dan Campbell. And I only bring Dan Campbell up a lot because Dan Campbell is that CEO type coach that Gerard Mayo was kind of pitched to us as the CEO type coach, and Dan Campbell's doing it better than anyone else, right?
Yeah.
But like, look at what Jim Harbaugh has come in and done in LA. That team is a tough, physical football team. Now, again, you have Justin Herbert. He's a few years in. You draft Lad McConkey at 34. Too bad we didn't pick 34. Like, you have some pieces around there, right? But like Quentin Johnston was a disaster last year. He was a terrible player last year. And this year, he still has a lot of drops. He isn't great, but he's like an actual NFL receiver this year. And at times has really played well.
Is he on the Cordero Patterson track here of just becoming like a useful gadget player?
He's already better than Cordero Patterson, in my opinion, because he's an actual outside receiver. Like he actually is. You know what I mean? Patterson was a very useful guy for a while, like in different roles and stuff. But Quentin Johnston, like all of a sudden came on and he still drops the ball and he still runs routes sometimes. I mean, I remember
bad drop.
Oh my Lord, dude! I had one. I don't think it was me. I was in that guillotine league that I'm in, and this guy who was in last place had Quentin Johnston, and he was down. He was literally down by like a half a point. A half a point he was down by. And he had Quentin Johnston, and I think it was Monday Night Football, and Johnston had 5 targets, 4 drops, and 0 receptions. And it was like, you've got to be kidding me. That was one where he's running on the crosser, and there was no one with like on the entire side of the field, and he just dropped it. And so it was just one of those things that like it was wild. It was just like the guy couldn't possibly lose, and he lost. And so, anyways, but it's that type of stuff. He's going to have those games, but the fact that they can get anything out of him, and that team is playing hard, and they're doing stupid crap like giving lunch pails with with words on them and sayings, like that's stupid. That's like high school stuff, but like people buy into that shit. Like people like that stuff.
Yeah.
That's not happening here. Like, they don't have, like, the Chargers have an identity, and they've lost a ton of players, as they always do. And so, like, they're not quite as good as we thought maybe they would be, but, like, they're probably going to make the playoffs, and frankly, like I said, they have an identity, and, like, the Patriots don't have that right now. Maybe they will next year. Maybe Mayo will get it figured out, but, like, I don't know. If we bring him back next year and he still doesn't figure it out next year, you kind of have to fire him next year. You don't have a choice.
Well, and it's
right.
I don't know. Again, if we're having this conversation now, like it tells you where you are, and it's going back to what you said about island games, standalone games being in the spotlight. Like, let's take a look at what I want to put some dots together here real quick.
Yeah,
there was a report. I forget who it's from. Sunday, that said that Gerard Mayo and Elliott Wolf are safe.
Yep.
As long as there's not a complete collapse.
Right.
That to me isn't a report saying that they're safe.
That is correct.
That's a report saying that there's a condition in which they're not. And you also look at the calendar and it says it's pretty easy to see how that condition is fulfilled with who they play.
Mm-hmm.
You come out of the bye, you clearly ownership is upset visibly at how that game went. You're in the late afternoon slot, so you're going to get more eyeballs on you. This week, you're in the late afternoon slot. You're going to get more eyeballs on you. Like, almost the entire country is going to be able to see this game on Sunday. The beatdown that's going to happen to the Patriots. And then we assume it's going to happen. We have the thing underneath us. The Bills are 14-point favorites in this game. And the week after that, you are a standalone 1:00 game on a Saturday afternoon where everyone can watch you play on NFL Network. And then we go ahead to the last week of the season. There's a real chance the Patriots are going to end up with a 4:25 game again. Because if there's a seeding battle here between the Chiefs and the Bills, the NFL is probably going to want both of those teams playing at the same time.
Right.
And that means you got a chance to be in either a standalone TV slot or a elevated TV slot. The last 4 weeks of the season, the time when your team was supposed to be turning the corner, there's a real chance you're going to lose all 4 games.
Yeah.
And that's going to include 2 divisional games. It's going to include a game against the team that was the up-and-comer last year that finished the year strong, and a game against the team that hired a head coach you could have hired this offseason if you wanted to. That is the recipe for embarrassing ownership and causing something. And the icing on top here, potentially the cherry on top of this thing, if the Chiefs lose 2 games the rest of the way, with Mahomes hurt and short rest and all that, which is very possible, there is a chance the Bills come into Gillette Stadium in Week 18 in front of a pretty big audience and
Yeah.
beat the Patriots handily, and then get
Clinch
to
the number one
celebrate
seed.
being the number 1
Oof.
seed at the stadium.
Phew. That's tough. That's tough to
Yep.
take. And and you pointed out, look, you point out the fact that they might lose these 4 games, right? And okay,
Mhm.
look, are the Cardinals better than you? Absolutely. Are the Bills better than you? By a wide margin. Are the Chargers better than you? Yeah, probably, right? They have an offensive line, which is something you don't have.
Mhm.
So, yes, these teams are better than you. They have more skill than you have, right? I mean, you look at Zion Johnson and Rashawn Slater, right? Are 2 linemen from the Chargers that they invested first round picks in, right? Like they've invested into that offensive line way more, significantly more than the Patriots have, and certainly more successfully.
Mhm.
So, okay, the talent isn't there, right? And we know that. Like an observer from the outside may look at it and just look at the rosters and forget about the coaching and just look at the rosters and say, yeah, like the Patriots probably should be underdogs in all 4 of those games. But it's not the fact that they're losing. Right? If you lose, you lose. Like that happens. It's not a big
Mhm.
deal. Not that it's not a big deal, but like in a in a,
This
in
team's
a
not good. They're gonna lose
rebuilding
games.
year, right? This team is not built to win a ton of games. That's fine, right? It's rebuilding.
Mhm.
The biggest thing, and we've talked about this I feel like we've talked about this for like 3 years now. We just want to see the young guys continue to improve and for us to have some confidence that they're going to be some level of competent moving forward.
Mhm.
And I just don't understand how you can watch this team right now. This team is going backwards. They're getting worse as the year progresses, right? They're getting significantly worse. This team is way worse than they were. I remember when they beat the Bears. Now, the Bears were terrible and they were firing their coach and it was a disaster. When they beat the Bears, we were like, hey, maybe they're turning the corner. Maybe, who knows, right? They played a good game against the Jets. I mean, they lost. They played a good game against the Jets. And they maybe they're turning the corner and they're starting to look a little bit better. And they've just nosedived since then. And even the Colts game, like they played okay in that, and they made a million mistakes, but they played okay. At least it was decently competitive. But you still looked at it and said, man, so many mental mistakes, so many coaching errors. And you're like, this stuff still isn't figured out. And then you lay an egg against Arizona. Awful. And you go to Buffalo and like maybe they compete against Buffalo. I don't know. I can't imagine that happening. But like if they play a game against Buffalo, like a good game against Buffalo, you talk about can Gerard Mayo save his job? The way Gerard Mayo can save his job is by coming out and competing these next 3 weeks, showing that this team actually gives a shit and is like going forward. We have some level of confidence that they're going to be a competent football team. Right now, we don't have that. And so, if we can get that, I think that makes a big difference. And so, we'll see. But there's a path here for Gerard Mayo to continue. But if the next 3 games looks like the last game, to your point, like ownership's going to have their hand forced here. Like I don't care how much they love Gerard Mayo.
Yeah, no, that. Oh, and it's these last 3 games are against teams that feel kind of tailor made to push at your weaknesses. Teams that want to play physically, want to run the ball, are not afraid to put tight ends on the field. Like it's not. Honestly, these teams aren't going to need to game plan a whole lot to beat you.
Right.
Like they're gonna just do what they want to do. They're gonna run their plays. You're gonna know what plays are coming. Can you stop it? And that last Colts drive, that game-winning drive, you give up multiple spots there. You know what's coming. You should. The players don't, and they can't stop it. And like that's, I think, kind of the number one sign of a poorly coached team when you have veteran players who have played well before, who do not know what they're doing on the field, who aren't taking the right angles, who aren't filling the right gaps.
Yep.
Been an issue all year long, and the fact that it hasn't gotten better at any point is a serious red flag. And if you don't fill your gaps correctly in the run against the Bills, this game's not going to be like it's going to be 14-0 in the first 8 minutes, and that's the ball game. And then it's going to be cold in Buffalo, and like our players going to want to tackle Josh Allen when it's 14 degrees, the sun's gone down, your season's over, and you're already down 2 or 3 scores in the game.
Yeah. Well, right. And then you talk about like really wanting to fire Gerard Mayo. Like if they quit up in Buffalo, And it's like on at 425, everyone's watching it, and it's like, holy crap, dude! Like this is just embarrassing, right? And like I said, that's you talk about like Kraft. I think people have talked about, well, you got to hit him where it hurts with the money and all this. That's not it. Kraft wants to win. He doesn't just care about money. He wants to win.
Yeah. If anything, that's the issue, is that he is so caught up in that he makes bad decisions.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. We'll see. There's a long way to go, and I'm not saying that we should. I'm not 100% saying we should fire Gerard Mayo. I'm not saying that Gerard Mayo is out. That's not what I'm saying. But what I think we've reiterated a few times, and I think is the correct take, is that if these next 3 weeks look like last week, and even the Colts game to a certain extent, the Colts just stink, and that's part of the reason why the Patriots were to hang with them. But they really didn't play a good game that game. Mm-hmm. If these next 3 weeks look like last week, I just think you have to clean house. Like you just got to get rid of everyone.
Yeah.
And you just start over again, right? Get rid of AVP. Get rid of, and I'll tell you, and we talked about this a little bit. If they fire AVP, but keep Gerard Mayo, I'm going to be livid, because the offensive side of the ball, and again, I would like to see him run Drake May a little bit more, but like the offensive side of the ball is where we've seen some growth, a little bit, not a ton, but at least a little bit, certainly more than the defense. I mean, the defense has struggled, but like you have Barmore back, you have Duggar back, you have Peppers back, you got 3 of your main guys back, like, and now you're still playing just as bad as you were at the beginning of the year, like. You're playing worse than you were at the beginning of the year. Like, what's going on here, man? So I don't know. It's just tough.
Yeah.
So, anyways, all right. Let's get into our first ad break, and then we'll go from there. We have a new sponsor. That's correct. It is Factor Meals. Do you notice how the days are shorter, but your to-do lists are longer? Power through your busy days with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. From breakfast to dinner and anything in between, Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled and feeling your best. Whether you like routine or you enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add to your box, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. Don't let shorter days slow you down. Stay energized with America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service. Because Factor's meals are chef-prepared and dietitian-approved, you're going to love not only how Factor's meals taste, but also how they support your goals. And check this out. Factor is cheaper than takeout and dining out. Put the money you save towards holiday shopping or reaching your financial goals. You're going to find guilt-free comfort foods like home-style chicken and gravy, loaded mashed potato pork chops, feel-good vegan options like sweet potato and chickpea curry, and globally inspired flavors like Peruvian shrimp and red pepper cauli grits. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to head to factormeals.com/50PatsNation and use the promo code 50PatsNation to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's the code 50PatsNation at factormeals.com/50PatsNation to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping while your subscription is active. 50% off of Factor Meals. Like, that is one heck of a deal. So take advantage of that. We're very happy to have Factor Meals with us. And of course, we also have Prize Picks as well. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in award winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot up to win 1,000 times your cash. I said that right. 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Make your holidays bigger and brighter with Prize Picks, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. As I said, you can win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. They also offer Venmo for deposits and withdrawals, which makes it super, super easy for you. Now, you want to join now because this holiday season, Prize Picks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Pixmas. Now, for me this week, I've been on a cold streak lately, as you probably know. But for me this week, I'm going Drake May with more than 26.5 rushing yards this week against Buffalo. And I'm going Baker Mayfield with more than 237.5 passing yards against Dallas. Now, what you're going to do is download the app Prize Picks today. You're going to put in the promo code CLNS, and you're going to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, you're going to download the app Prize Picks, put in the promo code CLNS, and get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. You don't have to win your first $5 lineup. You just have to play it. Prize Picks. Run your game. All right. Whew, we are back. Very excited to have Factor Meals along with us. We appreciate you guys. Matter of fact, they actually sent us some Factor Meals, and I gotta tell you, I tried one of the things, and they're pretty dang good. Pretty dang good.
Yeah,
so
I like them.
you know, it's cool. It's one of those, right? It's not just like a Hungry Man type of meal where it's like a regular microwave meal. It's like actually like dietitian approved and everything else. So it's really a solid benefit for you. And like I say, they have so many different options, and they'll send it to you, and then you just have them in the fridge, right? They're not frozen. They're not stuff that goes in the freezer. The stuff that goes in the fridge, and it stays, because it's fresh. So, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
no, I enjoyed them.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. Do you want to talk? Should we talk a little bit about the Bills? I mean, do we even have to talk about the Bills? I don't know.
Can we start here by just roasting the Bills real quick for wearing?
Let's do that.
New England Patriots wannabe uniforms this week.
Oh my Lord! What is that? That's just weird.
They're trying to wear the Patriot throwbacks against the Patriots basically this week.
So weird.
Yeah,
it's just bad karma. I feel like they should lose the game just because it's bad karma.
It'd be nice.
It'd
be very nice.
It's a bizarre thing. I do like the white Bills helmets. I do like that. I'm a fan of the white Bills helmets. But like the red with I don't know. Although I will say, I mean, they wear the white. The white is their normal helmet now, anyways, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the only. So they've worn these Color Rush uniforms that are like the red jersey since like 2017, 16.
Yeah.
And it's usually white helmet, all red below that. But this is the first time they're wearing it with the white pants instead of the red pants. So it looks a lot like the old.
It looks a lot like the old Patriots.
Not even the 80s ones, but like the 60s uniforms the Pats used to wear. Which, objectively, I think they look good. You would just never know that's the Buffalo Bills looking at them.
It's really bizarre. It's really bizarre, right? If you followed football, you'd be like, wait, what team is this? And that's like Minnesota. When Minnesota played on Monday night, I was like, what team is this? What am I looking at?
Yeah,
and it was like Minnesota, and I was like, oh, okay, that's strange.
Yeah, they look like a what do you call it? They're in the MAC or something.
Yeah, it's what, and they do this sometimes with teams, and I'm just like, I don't understand what's going on. Like the Jets have like the black helmet with the black jersey, and they're running around in all black, and I'm like, what team is this? Who am I watching right now? You know what I mean? Like, I should be able to turn on.
Yeah. I don't hate the Bills all black ones as much. Or not the Bills, the Jets. I should hate those, but I feel like they do look all right. I feel like they remind me of the Celtics black alternate jerseys. So I'm like, I get it. I guess
I get it. So I will tell you, when I played with the Jets in an online franchise, just because there was like a certain amount of teams, and there was like, you have to take the Jets, and I was like, all right, fine, whatever. I was just jumping in. But I'll tell you, I would wear the all black with the old school white helmet with the stripe and the NYJ or whatever, the NY with the football, and all the guys in the league would roast me like, these are the worst uniforms I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'm like, I love the black with the white. What can I say? I am a sucker for it. Like, I just, so I know it doesn't look good, but I'm like, I'm in with it, so but anyways, but yeah, so I think as a football fan, when I turn on an NFL game, I should know who's playing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's not the case. It's not the case.
I feel like there's too many alternate uniforms in general. Like it's just
yeah,
like that Packers Seahawks game the other night was just like, what are we doing here? Like
yeah,
we've
right.
totally lost the plot. The
Yeah,
Green Bay Packers, like the
that's
Green
garbage.
Bay Packers are
Yeah,
wearing an
some
all
teams
white,
shouldn't be wearing that stuff.
and then obviously the Seahawks wearing neon green
I
highlighter.
mean, that's the Seahawks can do whatever they want, but like
I
I do
I
feel like those
don't
old
I
school
don't
teams.
hate the neon green for them, to be honest, but that's just too much. Break it up somehow. Give me like
Right.
blue pants or something.
I do agree with you on that. I think too, like some of these old school teams, like don't do that. Like the Bears when they wore the orange helmets and they're all it's like, dude,
No.
stop it. You're the Bears. The
Well,
Packers are wearing white helmets.
the Bears have a good throwback too.
That's what I mean. But it's
Which
not
is
yeah.
like stick with their uniform they wear that's like the bumblebee stripes almost up on the shoulders.
Yeah.
And like they got like the really stripy socks. It's like I like that. That's fun. That's a
Right.
good alternate.
Yeah.
It's like you can clearly tell it's the Bears, but it's different.
Right. I agree with you.
You don't need an orange helmet. What are we doing?
Yeah, I agree.
I think it
So,
also says, in the comments, cards all black is a good one from earlier. I like that one. I think that
it's
one's
a good
really good.
and again, the white helmet with like the different colors of the cardinal, right? Like the white and the red, and then a little bit of that yellow mixed in there. Like that's a sharp looking uniform. You know what I mean? Like, but that's their normal helmet.
Yeah. Well, they were with the black helmet.
Oh, they went with the all black. That's right, this year.
Yeah, because they added it. Their black helmet has like a red tint to it, so like where the light shines on it, it's a little bit red. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. That I like.
Okay,
that's interesting.
You're right about that though. But that did look good though. And
that's a gimmick done well. The Vikings wearing whatever they wore is a gimmick not done well.
Correct. I agree. Yeah. So
I think it says a lot about where the Patriots are that we are 30 minutes into this episode and we are fully on uniform talk.
I was actually just thinking that.
Not much to talk about for this game.
No, I mean, look, if you're talking about the Bills, the Patriots have no chance. Like, in order to beat the Patriots, for the Patriots to beat the Bills, Josh Allen's going to have one of his throwback, I'm the worst quarterback in the league games where he just throws insane interceptions and makes terrible play after terrible play, and things just completely fall apart at the seams. And by the way, like, can we talk about the fact that the Bills are, becoming the Patriots? You talk about what the Patriots are able to do, and of course the Chiefs have kind of been that as well. But like, when you look at the Bills and what they've done this year, and Josh Allen with no help. I mean, Khalil Shakir's fine, and like Keon Coleman's a nice player, I think, but like he has nobody else. They have James Cook, who like sometimes they run, sometimes they don't. It's a weird situation with James Cook. Sometimes he gets a bunch of carries, and sometimes he doesn't. And I don't really know what they're doing with him sometimes, but the fact that they continue to win and he continues to look that good with like Mac Hollins as his like legitimate number 2 wide receiver is like pretty incredible that they're doing what they're doing. And they're just an absolute wagon. They're playing well in defense. Like they're just a fun team to watch. And unfortunately for Patriots fans, like Josh Allen's a hard guy to hate. Like he's not an asshole. He's not like, I don't know. I have a hard time not rooting for Josh Allen. He plays for the Bills, so like I de facto have to hate him. But like, it's outside of him playing for the Bills. Like it's hard for me to justify not liking Josh Allen.
Yeah, he's been so good this year, and the way they've built that team around him, like,
yeah,
I think I kind of hypothesized this over the offseason. There was a lot of talk about they're regrouping and they're taking a down year, and I looked at it, I was like, I don't think so. The weapons aren't sexy. They built an awesome offensive line. You've got 2 tight ends who are really good. Khalil Shakir is a real decent player. And it's all right if you give Josh Allen, especially with his running ability, that much time to make plays, and you can also get under center and run the ball with the tight ends they have, you're going to be really hard to stop. And that's what they've been in this year. They've been a really good offense. And like, I don't know. It's like, you ever play like the Civilization video game? That might not be your speed, Pat. The Civilization video game.
No, I mean, I've heard of it, but no, I've never really played it.
When you play, like, you're building a civilization, you go to war, all that kinds of stuff. you have these siege units, built units that you build. Their only thing is that they attack cities, and you usually you set them up near a city and you put things around them to defend, and then they can just rain hell on a city if you're trying to conquer it.
Got it.
That's what Josh Allen feels like, where you give him time and protection, and he's just gonna that Lions game. Just give him protection. He's looking down the field. He's gonna drop it in a bucket right over
Absolutely. Yep.
and then the freaky thing is that then he can go from being, a siege unit that's stationary to a cavalry unit that's running around doing circles around everyone when he gets into running mode.
Yeah.
And it's just there's no to stop it. You need playmakers on defense, and this team does not have that. You need to be very disciplined on defense. This team does not have that. Your chance to win this is to have the front seven play a lot better, stop the run, and then go play man coverage, cover up his weapons, and get multiple interceptions because he misses on throws, or you just make a really good play on the ball.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I did not, on my bingo square, did not have Matt making a reference to Civilization, the video game. But it worked. He landed the plane on that one. That was pretty good.
I have lost many, many hours of my life. Man, it's so good.
So, but listen, and you're not wrong about the fact that Allen can do pretty much anything, and that's what's scary about him. I also, one of the things that I love about Drake May is that I see some of that Josh Allen with him, right? I see some of that playmaking stuff where even the throw to Osborne in Chicago, which of course ended up being an incomplete pass because Osborne stepped out of bounds first, but that's a very Josh Allen-esque play, and I think he's made it a few more times this year where he's running out of bounds. He's just running out of bounds, and he's like, "Yeah, before I run out of bounds, let me just make an impossibly good throw where only my receiver can catch it," and just throws an absolute seed to the exact spot that he needs to get it to, in front of three defenders who are all diving for the ball and can't get to it, and you're like, "How did that just happen?" And it's just it just murders you as an opposing team. You're just like, how do I stop that? Because he's literally with a foot out of bounds and he's still making that throw. And so, and May can do those types of things. Right. And the touchdown pass that he had this weekend to Pop Douglas, John Hill had a very similar touchdown against the Lions. Got called back because of a penalty, but he threw a two-handed shoulder pass to his tight end in the end zone. It was awesome. And it's that's the type of stuff where the freelancing and the making these wild plays, Allen has tamped that down a little bit because he used to be all of that. Mm-hmm. But he's become a great player who can still make plays like that instead of a mediocre player who sometimes make plays like that. And that's all of his game, right? And, that's been a massive evolution for him. And if he continues to play this way, I mean, the Bills are going to be in the hunt forever as long as he can play this way. And that's scary for a Patriots fan.
One thing, if you go over to the other side of the ball, this is where this is a fantastic opportunity for Patriots, and especially Drake May. This is going to be the coldest football game he's ever played in. This is going to be, I think he said the first time he's ever worn long sleeves when playing in a football game, which is crazy. So this is going to be your first taste of real AFC East football right here. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a hostile environment. You're going up against maybe the best quarterback in the game on this Sunday with how he has been playing and Mahomes' injury. Josh Allen's been that guy. So this is an opportunity for May to see, obviously he's not gonna measure up to Allen. He's not going to be close on Sunday, but to take the first step in that process because you're drafting him because you think he can get to that level at some point.
Right. 100%. Right. Yeah.
And to do it on the road against defense, Sean McDermott is not a perfect coach, but he's been good against rookie quarterbacks. He can design defenses. He can bring blitzes in particular. He's good at blitzing. And we know the Patriots, they can't protect against 4. You bring 6, it's over.
They're in big trouble, yeah.
There's a real chance this is just take your lumps learning opportunity for May. He's going to go up there, get sacked 6 times. You're going to score 10 points, and you're going to have a real miserable early evening game there.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
He's gonna,
Yeah.
you know, you got to beat. You want to be a champion in this league, in this division. You're gonna have to go up to Buffalo and win the football game.
Right.
So
Yeah.
this is your first opportunity to try that, so that ideally when you go back next year or the year after, or year 4, you have a real chance at knowing what you're doing and not letting the environment get to you.
Well, right, and that's exactly what you're hoping for, right? And I think that the Patriots are not on that trajectory right now. Maybe they'll get there at some point. Maybe it'll be with Mayo. Maybe it won't be. We don't know, right? But you're totally right. As far as with May, it's get see what it looks like in real time, and then you can adjust to it, right? And then you can be ready for it next time. And I think for the Bills, the Patriots were that team, right? The Bills were 1,000 times better than us. They've been better than us for a long time. And they just couldn't beat us. They just couldn't get over the hump and beat the Patriots. And it was in their head that they couldn't beat us. And 2020, they go, I believe it was in Buffalo when Cam fumbled, right? And the Patriots are going in to win the game against a far superior Bills team. And, Cam fumbles and Buffalo wins the game. And from that moment forward, the Bills have been good against us and have played us hard. Of course, we beat them, in that crazy win game where Mac Jones attempted 3 passes. But it's that type of thing that I really think that got the monkey off their back, so to speak, right? Where they were able to just play freely against us and not worry about losing. And, we might look up in a few years and that's us trying to beat the Bills, right? And so, we might have a semi-competitive team that's fighting for a playoff spot, but we just can't get past the Bills, right? And we got to beat them. And so, having Drake May at least look semi-competent at times. You get him twice in the last 3 games here. So, let's see what you can do against them, and we'll see how it goes this week. But maybe, hopefully, it'll look better in 2 weeks, even if it doesn't look good this week.
Well, I think it's important to remember last year they split against the Bills. They beat them in New England, and then they went up there and played them close in Buffalo with a team that was right at the end there with Belichick.
Yeah.
You lose by 6 points. You have
Right.
the ball in the 4th quarter with the opportunity to tie or take the lead. You're starting the drive, you're on the 3-yard line, and it goes nowhere. You got 3 and out, and that's the ball game. But you had that, and the year before, obviously, lots of circumstances around that game. A very emotional game in Buffalo. But they get it was two kick return touchdowns, right?
2 kick return touchdowns. Yep.
In a game that you lost by 12 points.
Yeah.
And the year you went up there before that in the regular season was the wind game, where you win. And you've got the game in 2020 where you should have won if not for a fumble late. So outside of the playoff game, they have gone up there and played Buffalo close in competitive games.
Yep.
And it's going to be. It doesn't seem like that's what's going to be the case this week. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. We'll see. But I think that this is really where, and you talk about, and again, you talk about Mayo being able to save his job. Playing the same team in 2 out of the 3 weeks isn't ideal, especially when it's the Bills and they're nasty. But it's a good opportunity for you to show some improvement. So even if they get their doors blown in or doors blown off, I don't know. I think I was trying to. I think I was going with teeth kicked in and doors blown off at the same time. But either way, even if you get killed this weekend, the last week of the season's against the Bills. If they're fighting for a playoff spot and they're fighting for, they're jockeying for position at 1 or 2, if you play them competitively, even if you lose, you're not expecting to win that game. But if you play them better than you played them this week, that shows a little bit of growth at least. And so that's the type of thing that we'd be looking for, and you're going to lose because it's the Bills and you're not very good, right? Matter of fact, you stink. So the Bills should beat you. Yeah. But, let's see where it goes. So we'll see.
Yeah, and this is not it's the Bills don't have elite receivers. So if you can get them into spots where you can play man coverage on 3rd down, you're going to have a chance. You're going to have to tackle Josh Allen probably, but you're going to have a chance. I just, it's the same thing as it was last week. The Cardinals went 10 of 15 on third down last week.
Brutal.
Why? Because he didn't like force him to a single third and long the entire game.
Yep.
You can't, and that's a much worse offense. So I'm not optimistic here. It's hard to win football games when you're going to lose in the trenches, and the Patriots should get beat mightily in the trenches on both sides of the ball.
When they're better and more disciplined than you, it's not a great combination. So,
well, and there's only so many things you can do coaching wise too when you get beat badly in the trenches. Like it's
right,
yeah,
100%. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So, all right, you want to do our second ad read here?
Yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, we're talking about game time here. I'm assuming you're not going to be buying tickets to this one in Buffalo, although maybe you are, but it is the Christmas season. It is the holiday season, a time where you're going to get together with your family. And nothing says getting together with family like going to a live sporting event together, which you can do with Game Time. I love doing it. Some of my favorite moments have been being able to go to sports around this time of year. It was a little bit earlier, but a little earlier in the month, but that Pats Texans, the Letterman jacket game back in 2012, that was a core family memory for me, being with the crowd for that one and my family. I went to a Bruins game. Yeah, I got some tickets at Christmas for Bruins game back in 2020. So that was great environments there. And like I said, it's the holiday season. If you need a last second gift for a family member, Game Time could be the spot where you could do that. Game Time Picks is going to make it quicker, faster, easier for you to do this. You just pull up the Game Time app. You're going to find the sporting event or the concert or whatever it is that you want to go to, and then you're going to hit that Game Time Picks button. It's going to filter out all the fluff. You're going to see the cheapest seats. You're going to see the best value tickets that you can get in the building, and you click on it. You're going to be able to see what that view is from that section. Makes it super easy. I love using it. So easy to just scout out what ticket prices are going to be, and figure out what you want to go to, where you want to spend your money, and they got all in pricing. So the price you see is the price you're going to pay. There's a lowest price guarantee, so they're going to credit you with 110% of the difference. It's fantastic. You hear me talk about it every week, but I do like Game Time quite a bit. I use them all the time when I'm looking for tickets for things. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time.
All right. Into our picks.
Let's look at last week's picks here. Look at that.
Oh boy.
So we both missed on that Packers Seahawks game.
Yep, sure did. I can't believe I picked the Seahawks in that game. That's all right. What do you end up?
And I forgot. I can't believe you took the Dolphins.
I can't believe I took the Dolphins either. I just thought, I was like, you know what? Maybe the Dolphins will figure it out. You know what? It's my fault. I forgot the Dolphins suck against good teams. They suck mightily against good teams. So I think, does he have like one win against teams over 500 or something like that, Mike McDaniel? It's something bad. I know the Patriots had as many wins against teams over 500 as the Dolphins did last year.
Yeah, one Stingley was just in.
Yeah, he did.
Tyreek Hill's shirt the entire. Which did Tyreek Hill tweet out a trade request earlier today?
I don't think so. Not that I saw.
Yeah, I saw something.
It wasn't retweeted by anyone big, unless I missed it.
He said, "Hold on,
they said,
"Oh, I see." He tweeted, "It's time for me to go, coach," and then apparently was just messing around.
Oh, I see. Tyreek Hill has not had a 30-yard catch. A catch of 30 yards or more since week 1.
Yeah, you want to know? You want to know how I know that one? Pat,
he's on your fantasy team.
We're gonna do this real quick. Pat, did you see what happened in our league this week?
Was that you that lost by like 0.3 points or something like that?
I lost the first round of the playoffs by 0.47.
Oh.
So I would have had a bye this week if not for the Hail Mary the Bears gave up.
Yep.
But I had to play.
Appreciate it.
And Tyreek Hill did nothing for me. Derrick Henry did almost nothing for me. I had Josh Allen and I still lost. We were the two highest scoring teams in our league this week.
That's wild.
So I was the second highest scoring team in the league, even with Tyreek Hill and Derrick Henry doing what they did, and it didn't matter. I still lost. I got a couple people to blame. DeAndre Swift scored a touchdown that would have given me the win, but it got called back because of a penalty on the Bears because they didn't line up correctly or go to the officials.
That's right. Yep.
I also lost 1 point because Tyler Bass missed a field goal.
Well,
that would be really, really handy right about now. Let me just see who else is on my list here that I need to complain about. I played the wrong defense. I played Cardinals defense. If I had played Eagles defense, I would have won by like 8 points.
Oh my Lord, dude.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Tony Pollard. We punish fumbles big time in our league. Tony Pollard, if you don't fumble, I win this game easily.
That's wild.
You
didn't play AJ Brown last week against who was AJ Brown? Who was not AJ Brown? You didn't play Philly's defense against who last week?
You're playing the Steelers.
Yeah,
I made that decision before I saw that Pickens was going to be out, and then I never changed my mind. I probably should have switched that.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, you know what, with our offensive line, I figured the Cardinals defense would get enough sacks in there and maybe a turnover, and they did. But
yeah,
it was only got 7 points in our league somehow.
Yeah, that happened to my buddy because he was the number 2 team in the league last week in the playoffs, and I was the number 1 team in the league last week in the playoffs. Because my team was Jared Goff, Devontae Adams, and the Broncos defense. That's really all I needed. I scored 180 points. It's full PPR, so it's a little different, of course, but I scored 180 points last week. So, and now I'm going against. Did you lose to Dave? Who did you lose to last week?
I lost to Chuck. So
Chuck. Okay.
He's going against Philip.
Oh yes, the number 1 team. Yeah, so I'm going against Dave, and so we'll see. He's projected. We're actually projected for the 2 highest scores, but that doesn't mean anything, obviously.
No, you weren't. I am projected for the highest score in the 5th
you're not
place
in the playoffs anymore, so it doesn't matter.
Did you know that in the history of this league, this is year 5 of this league?
Yeah,
I am the 2nd highest scoring player in this league, and I do not have a championship.
Do you have a championship appearance?
Yeah, I've won, but it was 2021. I think
at least you're doing some things right.
I lost the championship game by, I'm not kidding, I think 100 points.
Oh my Lord!
Wait, hold on. While we're doing this, I'll pull it up because I looked at this earlier and I was like, I forgot about it until I went back and was looking. Was it 2021 or it might have been 2022? That was 2021. Yeah, I lost the championship game 165-79.
Jesus.
Because my team just got totally derailed.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? Yeah,
by injury. It was injuries. I had
that's crazy.
Yeah,
everyone got hurt at the same time. So in our league, I am the 10th highest scoring team, and I am the 2nd place team. I finished 11-3 as the 10th highest scoring team in the league. I'm playing Dave this week, and he has 500 more points than me over the course of the season. This year.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
Wild.
Hey, and if you think he's good at fantasy, he's good at team management in general. He has a book about building a football team called The Inches We Need. So if you're looking to learn about managing teams, you can see it with his fantasy team, be a number 1 point scored there, and go read his book, The Inches We Need.
That was a great plug right there.
Thank you,
Dave. Appreciate that plug. So, all right. Anyways, let's get into our picks, and let's get everyone out of here. That was our fantasy corner that you really didn't care about, but we gave it to you anyways.
Yeah. So we're tied, by the way, on the season now. 3 weeks left. Yeah. We're tied in our picks.
Look at that. It's wild. I don't even know what the punishment's going to be yet.
We haven't figured that out.
Haven't even talked about it yet. So at least it's tied, and it's not like someone's killing the other person, and now it's like we got to figure it out now, and it's like, if I was up by 7, I could just pick something that I don't really want to. I wouldn't want to do, but I don't mind you doing. So it's I know I'm not going to lose. You know what I mean? But no, that's not going to be the case this time. So which is good.
Yeah. Our games this week: Thursday night Broncos Chargers. The Sunday slate is terrible, so I just took the Saturday games for this. Saturday 1:00, Texans Chiefs. Saturday 4:30, Steelers Ravens. Sunday night Buccaneers Cowboys. Monday night Saints Packers.
All right, there you go. Let's start us off.
AFC
Broncos
West panel.
at Chargers, AFC West matchup. Both teams, I think, surprising a lot of people in how well they're both playing. Both young quarterbacks. Of course, Bo Nix, a rookie quarterback. Justin Herbert's still pretty young. But I'm going with the Broncos here. I think the Broncos defense has been so good. The Chargers are banged up. Ever since the Chargers lost J.K. Dobbins, they haven't been able to effectively run the ball. And I think that their offense has suffered significantly by not being able to effectively run the ball. And the Broncos just have an awesome, awesome defense. And so I'm going with the Broncos here.
I'm going the other way. I like the Chargers. I don't know what it is about this, but I kind of feel like the Broncos got a little bit too high with that win over the Colts, but the Colts just doing some really dumb stuff, and they aren't quite that good. And I feel like we're getting a little bit too low on the Chargers because of some of their recent stuff. They're not a bad team.
Yeah.
They're at home. I think the Chargers end up taking this one.
I hear you. All right. Okay. Yeah. Then Texans at Chiefs, 1:00. Like you said, 1:00 on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Patrick Mahomes might be hurt. He might not play. It just might. I mean, whatever. I don't care. I'm taking the Chiefs. I'm not picking against the Chiefs. I'm not picking against the Chiefs. Now, if you tell me the Chiefs are playing the Bills in the playoffs, maybe I'll pick against the Chiefs. But I'm not picking against the Chiefs, and you can't make me.
I love how stubborn you are in this. I genuinely appreciate it. I'm going with the Texans.
Right.
The Chiefs have to lose at some point. It's gotta happen with the way they're playing. Mahomes is hurt. The way the Texans looked last week and the way their defense looked, this could, if they are able to repeat that performance this week, they will win. So the way Stingley looked like number one corner in the league. Awesome. The way he was playing.
Yeah, he looked awesome.
So they can repeat that this week. Oh boy, this could be a huge, huge game in the AFC. That win would, I think, almost assuredly mean that the Patriots-Bills game in Week 18 is probably going to end up at 425 too.
Oh, horrifying!
Yeah,
horrifying. Go Chiefs! I can't even imagine 420. Although it would benefit me because I have practice on Sundays 9 to 11, and so I'm happy about the game getting moved to Saturday because now I don't have to show up. I was going to miss all of tailgating and then just show up for the game. And so if it was at 425, I would be able to go to all of tailgating as well, which would be nice. So, anyways, all right. Not that anyone cares about that, but that's it's just me selfishly caring about that. So Steelers at Ravens Sunday at 425. Another AFC North battle. Look, I just think, we talk about Josh Allen and how well Josh Allen is playing and how he might be the best quarterback in the league right now. Lamar Jackson's playing just as well. I think Lamar, if Josh Allen isn't the MVP, Lamar is the MVP. It's going to be one of those two that win it because they've both been incredible this season. And so partly for that reason, but also because I think they're peaking at the right time and they're playing well, I'm going with Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I just think Baltimore is a better team than Pittsburgh. They're at home in this one. I think this is probably where the Ravens end up kind of taking the AFC North back.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, they're the better team here. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that one.
Agreed. All right, Bucks and Cowboys. I mean, we don't even have to talk about this. Buccaneers. What are we talking about? Cooper Rush and the Cowboys. Come on, they've given up. The season's over.
Well, they beat the Panthers last week. But
that's great.
This should be, the Buccaneers are a much better team here. They should take this one pretty easily.
Yeah. Yep. So look, the Cowboys are a joke. I just think, and Jerry Jones, who knows what they're doing? Mike McCarthy, it's maybe he'll be safe, and it's what are you insane? What are you doing? What is wrong with you? And so I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. All right, Saints
Saints
and Packers,
Packers.
Monday Night Football. Let me set the stage for you. Former 5-star quarterback, incredible play, right? Once touted as the next great NFL quarterback. Doesn't really work out where he's at, so he transfers to another school and works out kind of okay there, but like still not super well. And so he falls in the draft and he gets drafted by the Saints in the, I don't know, whatever round it was, 3rd or 5th round, whatever the hell round it was. Can't even start over Jake Haino, whatever the hell his name was last week. Getting the start this week. Spencer Rattler this week. It's going to be a Cinderella story for Spencer Rattler until they get on the field and the Packers wipe the floor with them because the Packers are going to beat the Saints.
Yeah, the Packers are favored in this one by as many as the Bills are against the Patriots. This is, I mean, I'm looking at this scheduling right here. Like, how did these games end up in primetime, man?
Yeah, you have no idea. No clue.
Yeah, this should be Packers by a lot, especially the Saints, a Southern Dome team in December at night at Lambeau.
Yeah.
What
not ideal.
Yeah.
Not ideal. I should have just, I went for it. I didn't really go for it. I didn't want to say that he started at Oklahoma, went to South Carolina, and then, I mean, everyone kind of knew where I was going. I feel like that, but whatever. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, Spencer Rattler. Hey, you never know. You never know. But you never know, I suppose.
Yeah. All right, should we do our prize picks and get out of
Let's
here?
do our prize picks and then we'll get the hell out of here.
All right. You said you want to say yours again real quick?
Yeah, let's say mine again. I did read it to you during the ad read, but I will tell you anyways. I'm going with Drake May for more than 26.5 rushing yards and Baker Mayfield against the Dallas Cowboys for more than 237.5 passing yards.
I like it. I've got Kyler Murray more than 23.5 rush yards.
Okay.
Against the Panthers. Matthew Stafford more than 243.5 passing yards against the Jets. The Jets defense has been playing horrendously. And this feels like the kind of game where Stafford's going to go off. So those are my two picks.
I love it. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get on to Prize Picks right now. Use the promo code CLNS. Get $50 free when you play your first $5 lineup. They're giving away right now. Giving away a free square. A $5 square. I'm sorry, that's not true. They're giving away a square with Nikola Jokic, 0.5, more than 0.5 points on Christmas Day. He just literally scored 1 point. So they're giving one away. Just put another one in, and you win automatically. So get in there, use the promo code CLNS, and get $50 when you use your first $5 lineup. So, all right, is that it? That's all we got, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see you Sunday night.
All right, we'll see you Sunday night, and my God, hopefully, it's gonna be bad. But hey, listen, we'll get to watch the Patriots play football again. We'll only have three more games of that. So, as bad as it's been, it is football, right? And so, once like May starts rolling around. June starts rolling around and we're sitting here like, oh my God, just freaking get to the season. Like, what are we doing here? We can think back to this moment and be like, you know what? Maybe it wasn't all bad. It was football season after all, Yeah.
Yep. And we got a couple more chances here to see Drake May this year. So I'm just going to soak that up.
That's right.
Yep.
We have a fun rookie quarterback. So
we do.
But all right. Well, thank you for tuning in, guys. We appreciate it. Yeah, we appreciate you guys. Be good to each other and go Pats.